Okay, now what is our next step? Next activity we're gonna do is we already learned a lot today. You started by measuring and self-assessing your knowledge, how much you already knew about the Constitution, and we watched some documentaries, some animation that I hope you enjoyed. And we learned a lot of new vocabulary, and you were supposed to come up with the definition that you learn in your own language about the limited government, republicanism, checks and balances, federalism, and everything else that you learned, separation of powers. That was your first worksheet. That was the worksheet 6 big ideas behind the Constitution. The next worksheet I'm going to distribute is taking stock of the Bill of Rights. The name is taking stock of the Bill of Rights. And if you look at it, there is 10 rows. And by looking at the presentation and as you learn, I want you to put whatever you learn in your own language. I don't want you to just copy word by word. I want to see what is your understanding about the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. I wanted to know if you want to explain it to your family, to your friend, how do you explain it? We usually don't talk with that language, old language today. And after watching and after completing this paper, again, you're gonna test your knowledge again at the end of the class before you leave. And that is because I want you to compare whatever you knew. Maybe you knew a lot about Constitution, maybe you didn't. I want you to compare how much progress you had, how effective was this class for you, how much you learned. And the way we do it, that is going to be graded, and that the grades are going to be recorded, but the difference is this. The difference is that I want you to grade yourself. I want you to grade it just like, imagine I'm grading you. Compare the answers you have, how much makes sense with whatever you learn, and with the sophisticated language when you're comparing. Is whatever the definition and the writing you have, does it make sense? If you're explaining it to someone, does it make sense? And you're going to grade yourself. And by that, it's very important, just paying attention why it's important for you to trust yourself and give me the honor to trust you as students to be honest and open and dignified, to not be worried about anyone judging you. When you're grading yourself, it's up to you. You're free just to share it with me or not. It's just for your own sake. It's for your own good. I want you to grade yourself, and I trust you, and I want you to enter. I'm going to unlock your Chromebooks, and you're going to enter your grades. And I think that is very important because we are learning about the Constitution, and that is for a civilized society. We live in a civilized society in the best country in the world, in a free world. And that is what it means to have law and to follow the law. We are not only learning about the Constitution, we are working on our characters too. So by being careful about your behavior in a class, for making sure if any of your friends, and even if you're not friend, anyone need help with having a question, make sure that you offer your help. You contribute to the society. You contribute to this little world of ours in this classroom as when you're gaining your education. And just like always, what I want you to do is, before leaving the classroom, after you get to your test, putting the information and recorded your grades, which I want it to be in your own words again. I don't want you to just copy word by word whatever you see. I want it to come up with your own words. in a simplified version that you're explaining it for your sister, your brother, for your friend, for someone, it makes sense. And it's with your own language, the way you use and you talk. And after that, we're gonna always continue with the same thing. We are leaving the class by making sure we are leaving a neat and clean and organized environment whenever we are leaving. Even if you see a piece of trash, if you see something is not organized, maybe you didn't do that, you contribute, you do something positive by taking care of that, by just picking up a trash you see on the floor, by helping someone that might look frustrated or anxious in an exam. And that is what it means to be civilized. And that is the first little law, the rules that we have in a classroom, which is respect, which is having honor, being helpful, being nice, being kind, and by being organized and clean. And then this, as our little society, we are in this classroom by each other. We're spending a lot of time in a classroom. You spend most of your day with your friends. And this is your little world. It's not really little, but that is the start. When you get ready, you have that energy, you have that positivity, and you have that good heart and kindness when you go to the society tomorrow in a big world. You're going to carry on and you're going to take those whatever you learned with you. So that's what it means to be civilized. And I think today especially is very, very important because our lesson is about the Constitution. And I just want to go over quickly the paper that you're going to fill. If you go, the structure of the Constitution, that is the same slide you saw at the beginning of the class. It starts with explaining the structure, the preamble, the articles, and by the time you get to the amendments, if you notice, there is one page specifically is a folder that you click on it, go in it, and for each first 10 amendments, you see the definition, and if you notice that the background is different. But I want you to, as I told you, to come up with your own words. For example, the First Amendment says, people have freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government. That doesn't make sense if you want to talk to someone, if you want to teach your sister or your little brother, it doesn't make sense. So it should be in your own words. But I want you to also come up with any examples, if it's okay if you don't remember. This is not an easy class. Constitution is usually a little detailed and you need to spend more time. You can use examples by bringing examples by drawing. Maybe you can draw a map or a picture. And you also know that you have access to the copy of the translation for anyone that they prefer to work on it in their first language and slowly start to learning it in English. You'll have the translation provided for you, and there is a copy of the key vocabulary also for everyone else, and you can use voice to text, you can do it digitally, you can do it by painting, you can handwrite it, you can type it. Whatever method that works best for you is fine. I want you to look at yourself and compare your improvement compared to the when you came to this class this morning. And I know it was a lot to cover. Thank you so much. And remember that for next time, it's going to be on Canvas, the explanation. You're going to come up with an essay. I want you to write an essay, but again, it doesn't have to be typed. It doesn't have to be like an essay. You can bring a voice recording. You can create a graph. Whatever works best for you, you can do it in like a map graphing or whatever works best for you, but I want you to, in 3 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, in 5 paragraphs, if you're writing, I want you to explain whatever you learned and explain the structure, the main structure of the Constitution, and the main ideas of each article, what Article 1 is about, what Article 2 was about, and even maybe the question would be Article 1 or 2 and 3, you have the names and you have to put them in order. And that is for the next classroom. Enough talking, and thank you for your time. I hope you had fun.